I would say I'm the most outdoor inclined out of the three. Andy's a close second.
Yeah.
A close second.
Yeah.
Give me 3 days with him. He'll be fine.
Yeah, Andy will be fine. But
I would be fine. Joe would. I'm telling
Joe
you, it
is
wouldn't
not.
work.
I mean, he literally like if a bug comes near him, he's the
Oh,
type
it's
that goes
so good.
and
It's
runs.
so good.
You know,
It's so good.
He can't. He
my
doesn't really
choice.
even like the outdoors.
It's so good.
very much.
Yeah.
I love the outdoors.
That was where actually.
No, I
this
love
is
the
where we
outdoors.
really differed growing up.
I love the outdoors. I just don't want to be like in the dirt. I don't mind. I love outdoors. I actually love the beach. I love the beach. I love
the beach.
I love
the
long
beach.
walks.
Sand.
Happy Friday, everybody!
Happy Friday!
Welcome to the Brotherly Love Pod. We are back. We're so happy you're here joining us as you do every single week. So grateful to you all. We have. It's always great when somebody's in studio, right?
Yes, it is.
I mean, I'll let you guys take it from here, but you know, we have people sometimes that zoom in, and then sometimes it's just us, which is super boring. And then, but our most exciting times are when we actually have really interesting, amazing people in studio with us.
Well, yeah,
So,
because it's so much more personal, and you
It
get to actually
is.
have a better
It is.
conversation. There's
It
nothing
is.
lost in translation with the digital
Right.
screen.
right, exactly.
And today,
Andy.
Well, I'm very excited.
Yeah,
I'm a
I know.
big
We're
fan.
letting Andy take this because he's like, please let me take this. So we're like, all right, you take it.
We have Amber Hargrove in the studio, everybody. Please
Oh,
welcome.
Naked and Afraid
you.
legend.
Naked and Afraid
Yeah.
legend. Yes.
And
Thank you kindly.
Yes.
And let's just start off by saying, okay, this is Andy and I's. This is our reality.
This is our thing.
Show. This is our
Yeah.
reality show.
Yeah.
We literally, I think we've seen pretty much every.
I mean, I watch it every day.
episode.
It's on every
Yeah.
day. If
Yeah.
I needed just something on while I'm doing something, that's my
And we
go-to.
always said we would wish they would do a celebrity version.
Yes.
We wanted to do it.
I just presented that
Dude,
today.
Are you serious?
I was like,
Put on
I know
hats.
3 guys, and if we could get a brotherly challenge, and they laughed at me, like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, I don't want to say too much. I'm not in contract with them, so I can talk about things still."
That's
But I thought it would be cool, and
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
just throwing it out there in your names, and they're like, "You're going right now," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go."
We would. I want to do it so bad.
Wow.
Joe would last 3 seconds.
Do you have baby feet, like soft feet?
He's got
Soft
baby everything.
Oh, wait, I'm
I
actually.
moisturize a lot, you know.
I don't know what I'm more excited about: getting the answers to all the questions from you that I have, or seeing Joe's reactions to all the questions and
Yeah.
Well,
answers.
you know, the thing about it is that I just, I mean, look,
This
No, I
is a
use
judge-free circle, by the way.
I
of
use
course.
it. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I try to preserve, you know, as much as I can as I get older. I'm the oldest one of these idiots, you know, so
You're the oldest one,
by far. By
youngest
far.
one,
Yes,
The middle one.
middle one. That's right. Okay.
Yes. So,
I would say I'm the most outdoor inclined out of the three. Andy's a close second.
Yeah.
A close second.
Yeah.
Give
Matt-
me 3 days with him. He'll be fine.
Yeah, Andy will be fine. But
I
this-
would be fine. Joe would. I'm telling
Joe
you, it
is
wouldn't
not.
work.
I mean, he literally like if a bug comes near him, he's the
Oh,
type
it's
that goes
so good.
and
It's
runs.
so good.
That's not true.
You know,
It's so good.
He can't. He
my
doesn't really
choice.
even like the outdoors.
It's so good.
very much.
Yeah.
I love the outdoors.
That was where actually.
No, I
this
love
is
the
where we
outdoors.
really differed growing up.
I love the outdoors. I just don't want to be like in the dirt. I don't mind. I love outdoors. I actually love the beach. I love the beach. I love
the
I love long
the
walks.
sand.
I love it.
Until you
I
meet-
work out all the time
Until you
outside.
spend some time with some sand fleas, and then you won't love the beach.
Yeah, sand fleas.
It's true. They always show like the island challenges, and at first,
They look
when I
beautiful.
started, I'm like, I want to go to an island. I started watching. I'm like, what a nightmare. I don't know
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Fresh
Yeah,
waters
yeah.
of
Yeah, no.
Pain.
Torture.
yeah.
The bugs are the worst. You know.
Can't
They're the worst, right?
imagine.
It's just
the
it.
worst.
Well, I know. I've lived
I
it. I've
can't
got
believe
scars.
it.
I've got
I
like
know.
What?
a
I
Mufasa
can't-
scar on my body currently that is permanent because it is just a bad experience in Peru. It shows it a little bit, like a 2-second clip of me getting injured. I cut down a branch and it twisted
Oh, yeah, I
incorrectly.
remember
Oh, yeah.
this.
And it came
Oh,
down.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
I've got
remember.
like a huge Mufasa scar on my left breast, and my nipple almost split in half. It was the most pain I've ever felt in my life.
Oh.
And I had to like suck it up and just like couldn't say much except for it was the most painful thing I have ever experienced. And I'm Mufasa walking around on one side.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
I
normal,
remember.
but it's just
I know,
hard.
but my
It
goodness,
was
how
from
do
the
you?
branch? It just came down and sliced you?
I remember-
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pom-pom came down. It twisted, surprisingly, when it went down because our shelter, we needed extra hands on fixing the shelter with my partners. And I was like, I'll go do it after fishing. I was really tired. I shouldn't have done it. And just got me clean shot, man.
Now, when it gets you out there in the wilderness, what like how do you?
Great.
How do you
This is amazing.
Like, how do you not get infected and stuff? Like, how do you clean it out? You have like
There's a
lemon
medic.
or some Bactine or something. A little.
So
peroxide,
I do
perhaps?
have a medic, and she said I'm going to need stitches, and I said if I get stitches and it does get infected, then I get pulled from the challenge. And I was on day like 15, and I'm like, I'm in this to win it, man. I'm not leaving. I said, what could I do? So they gave me some Neosporin, and that was it. So it scarred me because I didn't get it
Right.
stitched up, but. It's a war like scar. I mean, what can I say?
I can't
it was kind
believe
of cool.
you suffered through it.
Wow.
I had to. I was trying to be all tough. You know, I'm retired military,
Are you?
and
Yes.
yeah, I served
Thank you
12
for your
years.
service,
yeah.
by the way. Seriously,
Wow.
thank you very
I
much
read
for your
that.
That
service.
Did you do
Yes.
2 tours in Iraq?
Yes, and actually, the first tour I was barely 18 years old, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was like 105 pounds, and I got messed up pretty bad over there, you know. But it's an experience to where who I am now, even with my kids. I'm like, I'm not really hardcore, but I set boundaries with them really good. They get up, they make their bed. Like I'm very clean,
Amazing.
kind of a neat freak.
Oh my gosh,
but-
me too.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go.
Super
Joe
Okay,
just
so
found
now-
his.
there we go.
Bonus point.
There
So
we
that's
go.
kind of an experience altogether as the military led me to Naked and Afraid.
Hmm.
I used to love going, you know, to Moscow, Colorado. If you guys ever want to come visit,
Hmm.
I would love to have you out. My husband is a famous knife maker. We have
Yes.
a
I
huge
know.
forge. You can come out there and smash some steel. You will get dirty, but
That's okay.
you seem tough enough. You can handle it. You would love it. It's just an experience
I'm
with
actually
your hands.
quite capable.
Yeah.
Despite choice.
They're just teasing you. I'm
Yeah.
teasing you.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is you guys
Despite-
would you guys could
Despite what
come
they
out.
think, I'm definitely the strongest overall.
I don't know about
Andy has
that.
certain things.
Have you guys
Oh,
arm wrestled over this yet?
Actually, we really have.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
I might win.
I'd take.
He
I
said-
might win.
He
I
might-
think Andy
I've
might
been doing
win.
some. Yeah, I've been doing some heavy
He
lifting
might.
recently.
He
I
might.
might win.
Oh.
Might.
Well,
Working on
that's
grip
pretty
strength.
cool.
I'm in preservation mode right now. So for me,
What are you preserving for?
well, for me, it's like I've learned how to stay in shape, you know, all throughout my life without any major injuries, which I
Yeah.
really appreciate. So
You're lucky.
for me, yeah, but it's about you have to find ways to do that because at 48, I can't train the way I did at 38, but I get the same results. I just have to be much smarter about it. So,
How old
you know,
are you?
48.
Wow. I wouldn't. You guys look
So-
super young. So,
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
you look great. It's a great
Thank you.
compliment.
That's the
I'm 42.
preservation.
I'm proud of my age. Most
Oh, that's
people are
You
like,
look
great.
great.
how dare you
Great.
talk about your age as a woman? I'm like, I
No, I
have
think
no
it's great.
shame. I'm naked on TV. What do I have to
can't believe
lose?
it.
I'm like,
That
I
is-
think it's completely the opposite. I think when somebody is in the shape that you're in and looks the way you look in your 40s and you go, I'm 42, I think people go like, what? You know, which is
oh, I'll take that
great.
compliment.
Instead of like
Yes.
hiding it. And I don't know what, like, I think that's,
It's a psychology.
to
of it.
me, I think
Yeah,
it's much
I
more
agree.
attractive to embrace that because if you look really good,
Yeah.
like it's like, oh my gosh. Because there
Yeah.
are some people that, you know, unfortunately don't take care of themselves or for whatever reason. And they look 50 when they're 35, and you know, like,
It's true,
all
it wears on
That's
you.
the opposite of the thing, you know. But if you look great and you're in your 40s, or you look great and you're in your 50s, I mean, I would just be like, yeah, you know, 55 people, and
Yeah.
have people go, what? Instead of the other.
I will say, like, being on Naked and Afraid as many seasons as I've done, it is like a huge toll on you physically and mentally. There's certain things
Only
like
imagine.
I
I
get
can't
what's
believe
called
it.
a little hangry sometimes when I don't have food, when it's convenient to go through a drive-through and somebody
Right.
hands you food versus sitting on the side of the tree trying to hit the shade so the sun doesn't hit me, and then I'm spearing a fish as fast as I can or grabbing a caiman, and I'm like, I am so blessed to be able to just go anywhere and just pick up food or bottled water.
For sure.
Not having to boil it. Boiling water sucks.
I'm sure.
It's like it's a
hot,
job.
huh?
It is. It's a
Oh
job.
It's
yeah,
probably- I always
it's
never- you think,
100
you know,
degrees in Peru, and I'm sitting there,
Drinking
and I'm like,
hot water.
I need water. I went fishing all day for about 6 hours. I caught like 6 different. I think they were called. They weren't. 2 of them were piranha, and I had like a wolffish. It was pretty great. And
Those are
I was
cool.
like, I'm gonna boil these. It'll be great. Well, we only have 1 pot, so you have to like.
Oh,
what
you're
do
fishy
you
water.
do? So it's a
Yeah.
checks and balances, but
Ooh.
you really need to have really good partners out there. Like
Yeah,
you
for
really
sure.
have to have a strong partner who's willing to like you're ride or die essentially.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a
So
challenge
good.
or the end of the world, you want to have your best friend next to you to be like, we're in this to win it. Clearly, I did not get that in the beginning
You
of
get
my
Gary
Peru.
and
Oh, you're talking about Louisiana?
oh, Louisiana. That's Louisiana.
Sorry,
yeah,
there's so many.
that's-
Yeah. Gary and Max were so cool. They were the coolest
Oh,
cats.
That
Yeah.
dude, I can't. He's a trip.
He's here. He lives around
Does he
here.
really?
Yeah,
No.
he is so cool. I was
No
actually
way.
going to call him
you big teddy
earlier.
bear, Gary.
No way. He's
I
a
talked
trip.
to I
He's
was
a
talking to
trip.
Stephen Lee Hall Jr. earlier.
What?
Yeah, he's cool. Well, we're all friends.
That's so fun.
I can imagine.
That's so
So-
fun.
Like, bond
It's a
with
small
these-
world.
How many
Yeah.
seasons did you do of that?
6.
6
187 days in the wild.
Wow.
Wow.
What? You kept going back. You kept going back.
It's kind of an addiction.
I'm sure it is.
I'm sure.
I'm sure it is.
It really is. It's something that you crave. It's like your body feels it. Like, I'm ready for this. I mean,
so
imagine
rad.
going out and having no fear of failure, no matter what you do. You're unstoppable.
I'm sure.
Once you step foot, you're bare. You're naked. I mean, honestly, I'm not a naked person, which is really funny.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not either.
I'm
That's
like, but you get over it.
Oh.
It's like it took me 3 times to refilm my first challenge in the Everglades.
Mhm.
And I was wearing a bikini and cowgirl boots. And I was like, they're like, all right, let's go. We're ready. And I was like, ooh, gosh. I just couldn't get out of it.
Yeah.
I felt like maybe I can't do this. I'm not a naked person. Then finally, Matilda, my producer, pushed me. I stripped down, and then I went out there and met Ryan, and it was very awkward because he kept staring at my chest the whole entire time on day 1, and I was like, yes, they're boobs.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, how
Oh.
are you?
Guys.
Right here.
Ryan? His name Ryan?
Yeah.
Ryan.
I'm sure,
You big
yeah.
weenie.
He
Come
said
on,
she's
man.
beautiful. Why would I not stare at her on the camera?
What am
And
I
I'm
gonna
like,
do when he's
oh.
booming? Yeah, look at him.
I was like, oh,
Terrible,
man.
terrible.
Yeah, it was just interesting, but
Wow.
Yeah.
it's difficult. If you can get through the first 3 days in reality,
Yeah.
you can get through anything.
Yeah.
It's the bugs, it's the people,
so
it's your
insane.
environment, and the bugs. You're just taking your hand like this, wiping away hundreds of mosquitoes.
I don't
at a
understand.
time.
I don't
Yeah,
understand.
that's
Wait.
insane.
How do they not?
I
They,
feel like-
they do bite you, right?
Oh
Yes.
God, yeah. We are destroyed. You have no skin by day 3.
Yeah. It's,
How do you not get like a fever from the bug bites? I feel
You
like
do sometimes. You get
Yeah, you actually
shock.
really do.
Yeah, you go into shock.
There's a couple people out there that started having way more difficulties. One guy got malaria filming, and
Yeah.
Jeff, he's still in recovery. And there's some other
Jeff.
survivalists that are
I
just
live
completely
for this
damaged,
right
and
now.
it's weird.
permanently, right?
Is that what he
Yeah, I
screams?
only got
Yeah.
like 4 scars on my body from filming all those times.
Wow.
But
But
the
your injury was
stupid
pretty.
Scars,
I mean, it was pretty
I mean,
legendary. That was a pretty
yeah, and the
legendary
horse
injury,
flies are
unfortunately.
like the
Oh my God.
worst. I'll
Mm.
tell you right now, horse flies are just standing there. You ever been bit by a
Yeah.
horse fly?
Oh yeah.
Now imagine constant.
Yeah.
And them not going away. That happened in Louisiana. It was pretty tough, but
yeah.
it was gnarly. It's a great experience, even though it sounds horrible. At the end, you just feel you're so proud of yourself with joy that you're like, I did this.
Yeah.
And then you're grateful to go and sit on a toilet,
For
you
sure.
know, and it's
Just
like,
having a bathroom.
I
Oh
mean,
my
the
gosh.
only time you get a break from the camera because it's in your face constantly, like, tell us how you feel.
See, now
And
that's
it's
a-
like,
that's another
What's the
thing.
size of what's the size of the crew? What is that like? Because you like
6 to 8 people usually,
Wow.
and then at nighttime. So we start in the morning. The sun will come up. Crew shows up, and they're like making noise to wake you up. We want to
Mm.
sleep. Like, we're exhausted. We
I'm
got like
sure.
no sleep the first night because clearly we're just getting destroyed. And they kind of like wake you up
No.
with sticks, throw stuff, and then they're like, you guys up? And I'm like, no, we were sleeping.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
So we get out, we start our day, and they leave when the sun goes down. So it's very scary. They're about a quarter mile away from us, so the safety measure is not 100%, which
Right.
is true. I mean, scary is, well, I'm talking all the time, but do you guys have
No,
questions?
no, go,
I'm
go, go.
sorry.
No,
That's
please
exactly-
talk.
Listen, I
sorry.
actually hate talking so much. I'm so glad you're talking.
I know, sometimes my
It is
cheeks,
such a
I
no.
get it.
We're so thankful that you're talking right now.
All my
We-
brothers do is talk. So
No, this is
please
great.
take over. This
So
is
do me and my
what's-
sister, so this
Yeah.
is cool. So
So
I
great.
totally
so
get it.
great. Honestly, I'm gonna get some popcorn. I'm gonna come back and just watch the show because I'm so excited. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, seriously, it's
No,
great.
no, no.
Talk.
Well, the reality is when we're out there, it is really dangerous because I almost died twice, and I've never felt so much fear. And I've been in combat, I've been shot at,
Yeah,
I've been
what?
blown up by an IED, so I'm kind of like I can handle stuff. This is where I realize this is sinking in. Like, oh my gosh, you could really die out here. It's not like a facade anymore. Facade is
Right.
where you can, psych yourself out a little bit. To be like, oh, it's safe, even though you can totally get shanked. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I'm in Africa. Oh, go ahead.
You know, I was gonna say.
I was about to
take
say,
us- take
I
us
was
through
in
the-
I'm shocked that
Africa.
nobody's gotten taken out by lions.
Yeah.
Something just walking through those grass.
That's
lands
what
and
it
stuff.
was.
And I'm
So-
like, how does this
Yeah.
not happen?
Well, my Africa episode was a total
insane.
mess. It was a complete mess, this whole entire thing I went on. And in the middle of the night, it was night 3. We had a lean-to shelter. Don, my partner, he is a super sweet guy, very intelligent on outdoors. But in the middle of the night, we have an emergency radio. So it's in their dry bag. If something happens, you go
Right.
get that radio and you contact them.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a quarter mile away. And then thunderstorms started coming in. All of a sudden, I see these lionesses come around our shelter. And I was like, oh.
Wow,
and
that's
so
gotta
all I
be-
had was a 3-pronged spear and this little knife. And I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. So I stood up
that's-
over the fire. I made a really big fire. I started making noise to scare it, like jumping at it, like, roar, lion talk. Probably not the right talk because it pissed them off. And they came up and started kicking sand at us. And I was like, in panic mode.
Goodness.
So I get on the radio and I'm like, we have lions. We have lions. And they're like, there's no lions out there in their accent. And I was like,
Wait, what?
yeah, they didn't come. They said
What?
it was the lightning. And I'm standing there with my spear. And I got to be honest, I actually peed myself a little bit just standing there with the
sure.
spear, not sure how to handle these 3 lionesses around. My partner's crying in the lean-to shelter. And I'm like,
He's
I'm gonna
crying?
fight. Well, he was
Still
scared.
crying in the wilderness.
He was scared. He was super scared.
He
Sure.
was
It
scared.
was so bad.
Well, you got
and
the
I'm like,
spear? Wow.
So
what a
I-
guy.
well, they were huge. There was 3
No.
of them. This isn't like
I
going
can't-
to the zoo.
No, I
No,
get
no,
it.
they're-
It's like
I
those are-
get it, but like,
from me to you. This is where it was.
Oh,
And I had the fire and I'm like, oh my
goodness.
gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I just kept shaking. And then I like tried to calm myself because I do really good in stressful environments. And I'm thinking, how am I going to survive this?
Yeah.
How can I? So that scared me. That totally scared
Throw
me.
him
I
done.
can't even
Number
imagine-
1.
Just give him done.
I can't even imagine. I was an actor. I was on a back lot of a studio, and they were doing a commercial with a couple of lions. Now, they had them in cages, but they were just there, and I love animals, so I was like, okay, I'm going to ask the trainer, can I go up? And he was like, yeah,
Pet it,
sure. And he
maybe?
lifted the tarp, and I'm like, from Andy to me to a male lion. The size of their eyes and face, you don't comprehend until you're really close, but the way they look at you,
Oh, yeah,
it's
dude.
like, oh, you're
It's
dead.
like they're going through your soul.
They are.
It is so scary.
I can't imagine doing that without having bars between us. I honestly, I was like, I couldn't even move my body. I actually froze in that moment with this thing when it locked eyes with me.
so
I can't imagine not having something, a partition
They're
between us.
incredibly scary. And
They
people
are.
are like, oh, it's not real. You get to sleep at tents a night. I'm like, I wish. That would be
Yeah.
a great gig. I got to be honest.
Yeah,
if I
right.
could sleep at
Yeah.
tents.
Well, I always
every
watch
night.
Survivor as well, and I'm like, oh, this looks like it's like a hotel stay.
There
Compared.
are. So there are some survival shows that they go to hotel at night.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bear
Oh, that-
Grylls
oh,
got,
oh,
got in
yeah,
trouble.
I
He
saw
got
that.
in
caught.
such trouble because he was doing his
Yep.
his
I
big
know.
survival, and they caught him in a nice
4 seasons.
caught him in a
It's so
resort.
Yeah.
good.
He was in a resort every
Yeah.
night. And they
Yeah.
get him, they filmed during the day and do that. But there's a couple of the
Yeah.
people, but there are some really good outdoor survivalists that don't do that I've actually got to train with. And
Oh,
I'm like,
cool.
do you stay in a hotel? And he's like, no. And he said, I'm
Yeah.
not Bear Grylls.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
wow.
ah.
Bear,
So
Bear
funny.
got
Because you
caught.
want to believe what
Poor
he's
Bear.
a part of,
Oh,
you
yeah.
I
know,
know.
and experience it. But
I know.
it's crazy. It's definitely a hard experience. But the second time I almost died.
Well, how did the lions thing play out?
So I stayed up all night,
Okay.
and then I just started. I was screaming
like a staring
constantly.
contest? It was just like
They were messing with me. It was just 3 of them back and forth pacing, and then you could hear them roar, and it felt like it was going through your body. And I was like,
Yeah.
I think I almost went in shock at one point, and I was just standing there thinking, no matter what I do, I don't turn your back on them because
Yep.
I had the thorn bush behind me to protect me.
Acacia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help watching movies before film, like before
Ghost
you
in the
go out film.
Darkness with.
That's
with
what it was.
Yeah.
I
I
watched
love that
it.
movie.
It's
No.
one of my
I love
top
that
5
movie.
It is a
movies.
great movie.
Val
Oh,
Kilmer.
yes.
Michael Douglas, so
Yes.
good.
I
I
love it
know.
too.
It's
So
a true
I
story.
watched that
It's a
on
true
a plane,
story.
headed to Africa, and
No
I was
way.
like,
My
Amber.
goodness.
So having
So
all that,
good.
so I psyched my own stuff
What a
out. But
trip.
I waited all night long. Sun came up, and the team came, and they were like, what is going on here? And I was like, you weren't here. I could have died. And they're like, there's nothing. There's prints everywhere. You can see
Yeah.
the lion's prints pacing in a
What?
circle, going back and forth. And he was like, I'm so sorry, Amber. And I was like,
Are you kidding me?
Did
I'm
they
so
leave?
sorry.
Did you like kind of outlast them?
yeah,
after-
that was it.
Yeah.
So they just were like, we're going to take you down. We're going to take you down, but we're not really sure if we can take you down because you're interesting and you're staring at us.
And the
then they-
fire. And
But I
all
was
sorts of
screaming.
shit,
I was
yeah.
like flinging my spear. It was a lot. It was very draining. I probably did it for about 2 hours, and then they kind of went away. But then I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure.
I'm sitting there just watching, and everything that makes a sound, I'm like, what was that? You know?
course.
Those, I mean, the
Where were
li-
you
I would be
sleeping?
too.
Like, where were you?
On the
where-
ground.
on the
Joe.
ground, Joe, in a
On the
in a
ground.
A
Burma.
lean-to shelter, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
lean-to
lot.
shelter. What's?
It's just like a half A-frame,
Yeah.
like this, just with some sticks. and not much to protect you. I'll tell you that.
Right. The other guy
And-
just sort of cried himself to sleep on his little pillow. Is that
He
what
was
did?
really
No
scared.
pillows.
I feel
pillows.
bad
I
because he
know.
was so scared, and it's like
The lioness
this is his
is-
first
You were literally
challenge.
pulling
I'm like,
you were literally pulling a Lionel Richie with the lions all night long, but
Nice.
you were, it
That's
was just
good,
doing
Joe.
it. Yeah, she was like,
Good.
all
Ba-dum-bum.
night long, all night.
Yeah.
I'm Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Get it?
The
Horrible.
lionesses are the badasses too. The male
course.
is the big lazy one, and the lionesses do all the hunting.
Yeah.
So
They
if
do.
they're the threat,
Oh,
they're
yeah,
like
for
they're the ones
sure.
that are going to take you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, for sure on that one. But I
Wow.
mean, it's just like a lesson learned. And then I think the second time I almost died was Peru challenge, the 60-day. I was really excited. We were doing great. We were on day 42, and I was with EJ Snyder and Stephen.
Hey, he seems like a really cool dude.
You want to say hi? I just talked to him
Are you
yesterday.
kidding me?
Yes.
I
he
love
is
all
so
these guys.
cool.
I know.
These are great partners. Like
is
I was
so
so blessed to
cool.
have them, and I went to go get some kindling, no big deal. I went and bathed myself on the river before the sun went down. And as I'm walking back up, the sun's going down. I'm walking like this. I step on something squishy, and I look down, and my other foot, for some reason, kicked back, and it was a fer-de-lance, and it turned to strike me. And I was like,
It was a what?
oh,
Fer-de-lance is one of the
second most
deadly
venomous snake in the world.
Yeah, it's
And I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And
Yeah,
I'm
that is
standing there because I
another
didn't
thing.
want to move because then it curled up like 2 feet away from me. And I was like, Steve!
You want to get the
And I
snake?
wanted him to hear me, but he couldn't hear me because I couldn't scream. And I finally was like, Steven, get the machete! Because I had no knife on me. And so Steven comes running
Serious.
up, doesn't have his contacts in, can't see crap, okay? Sun's going
Contacts.
down. He has to wear contacts.
I have contacts too. Would that be a problem? What do
No.
you do?
They give you a backup Visine so you
What
can
about my
rinse your
glasses?
eyes.
Can I bring
You can
those?
wear glasses. We call them the BCGs, birth control glasses is what we call them. Not a bad thing. I know it sounds odd.
So glad.
Wait, why? You
Yeah.
have to explain that. I don't get
Is
it.
they're really nerdy?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's
Like
an
no
army
one's,
term.
No one's getting
Oh,
any.
really?
Yeah, you have BCGs and it's birth control glasses. No, it's just an army joke, I guess. Sorry,
Interesting.
What
I
is
don't
it?
think.
I'm
I think
so-
glasses are great.
I
Your
have to know
glasses
what
are
this- I
amazing.
know, I do a
love it.
research.
BC, you're a total BC.
Yeah.
You're a total BC.
Yeah, so that is kind of funny though. It's kind of dirty.
Wow.
Sorry.
No, it's all
Anyways.
good.
Especially when
I
you
love
like this.
Oh,
What
I
are you
get it.
talking
It
about?
took me that long to get
You got to
it.
do that with your eyebrows.
It took me
Yeah.
that. It actually took me that long to get the joke. I am a complete dolt. Yeah, I'm a moron.
Yeah.
Well-
No, it's just
Yeah.
something. So poor Steven's running up to me, can't see crap. It's getting dark,
no.
and he's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I think he was napping." And he ran up, and I was like,
This
"The
guy's
snake is
crying,
right
napping.
there." And he like tries to. He's like, "I can't see it." And I'm like, "Oh, this is not good. Like if he can't see the snake, I see the snake." Like this is bad. And then it goes to a tree, and then he's like fumbling along, and I'm like, "It's a fer-de-lance." And he was like, "Oh." And so we pinned it down with a stick and then cut its head off and ate it. But at that moment, I was like, I got to hold the medic. I said, "Hey, do you guys have anti-venom for this?" And they're like, "Oh, well, it's expired. They're only good for 30 days." And I was like,
Oh.
so I would have died out there.
Yeah.
That was my moment of, I was really shaky for the next 2 days. I was very like careful with things, but
Ugh.
it changes you. And I'm meant to be here, so
Yeah.
it's cool. I mean, it was a crazy
Wow.
experience, but
Yeah, see, I'm a reptile guy. I have in the backyard, I have iguanas, tortoises, all sorts of things.
oh, that's cool.
So I've always wondered that as well. How has nobody gotten tagged by some of these snakes that are out there? 'Cause-
There was a guy who got bit by a cobra, and
Oh, really?
it didn't actually have the venom in him.
Dry
It was
bite.
dry bite.
It was a dry bite. So
Gotcha.
he survived, which is good. But if it wasn't, it could have killed him because
Oh, yeah.
he was in South America and the isolation is just, we're so far out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
We're
You
like,
don't have
don't
time."
worry, we got a 2.5 hour boat ride. And then we've got a chopper waiting for you. And I'm like, I would have died.
Oh, yeah.
I would have been completely dead.
Why was it a dry
and-
bite? Just by chance?
Well,
Happened to be-
Well, sometimes they don't always inject their venom. Because when a snake, you can watch a snake, they put it on a mason jar and they venomize it. Is that what you
Yeah,
guys like
yeah,
to
they
say?
milk it.
Yeah, they milk it.
Yeah.
And sometimes when they do it, there's nothing that comes out because their glands are empty.
Yeah.
So in a defense mechanism, they don't always put venom in you.
No.
They're just doing it to protect them because they have so much inside of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
venom.
it's think of it like
We're gonna
this.
give this guy nightmares. He's
Think
gonna
of
be
it
like,
this. It's a limited resource.
Right.
Okay. So they're going to use it when absolutely necessary.
Right.
If they don't feel it's absolutely necessary, they'll give you a test, just hit you with their fangs and see. if you were to then go back again, then they would probably actually they would tag
Right.
you.
Yeah, that's right. It's crazy. I mean,
Wow.
I don't know how half of us survive out there.
I know.
I
it's
don't know
crazy.
I
either.
mean, and then you see like really good survivalists who go out there on the show, and then you see ones that are a little sketchy that you're like, I don't know how you got on this show, but
Yeah,
that's
I've seen
cool.
those.
Yeah.
As a
Did
fan,
you
I can
see the
tell.
moment-
it's obvious.
The moment where the one guy was talking to the lady in the tent, and he starts telling her about how Bigfoot slept, like attacked him in the middle of the night.
Bigfoot.
Could you? Like, it was one of the funniest. Could you imagine being out there with like a stranger and having them start talking about this traumatic
crazy stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that like?
You wouldn't even believe the stuff we talk about.
What is
I'm
that
sure.
like?
I don't want to
No,
freak you
I
out,
don't-
but there was a Sasquatch watching.
No,
us
Joe,
last night.
Joe, this happened.
What?
And she's like, wait, what?
true.
And he's like,
Come on,
Yeah, he's
really?
like, no, you understand. I was sleeping in a tent and it attacked me. Yeah. Yeah, this is real.
No, you don't get to pick your partners.
Yeah.
So
Right,
you get put with the producer looks at all of the teammates and they say, well, let's match up this person because they're gonna fight, or let's match up this team because they're gonna
For
be the strong
television,
one.
right?
Fantastic.
Correct for
Got
that,
it.
and it sucks because it's just. I've had great partners. I've had really crappy partners.
Yeah.
I've had partners that I'm like, you know what? I'm grateful to have them. Even they couldn't do everything.
Even though they
I'm-
were
their
crying
personality-
on all fours in the corner,
No, I just think that the hard thing is
sleeping.
you got to survive your partner and make sure they're good.
I guess that's
because
the whole
it's
thing
hard.
too. You never
Yeah.
think about that. That's a big part of the
Yeah.
survival itself.
Or
Yeah.
they say they can specialize in a certain type of.
They can't do anything.
They
They're
can't
useless.
certain things, and you're
I
like,
can make this fire. I swear.
they
fire
are
maker.
fire
Have you ever done this
starter
before?
masters.
Only in practice.
Well, the best I've heard from a survivalist was, well, I watched it on YouTube a couple times, and I
Oh
was
no.
like,
No.
ooh, that's great.
Oh no.
Yeah, I go, that's all right. We'll just do it together. I'm very positive. I'm like, let's work on it together. And
Yeah.
I
I
actually
need you as my partner. So
did a
bad.
I did a lot of behind the scenes in Peru because you guys don't get to see what we always do the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just what the camera shows. And by day 10, they were giving us 1 day off. 1 day off to see how we would do just recording ourselves and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
And then I talked to my 2 female partners in Peru and I was like, hey, is there anything you guys really want to do out here that would really shine light on who you are as a survivalist? Like I talk to them all the time, like we could build anything you want and just tell me what you need and I could help you and I'll step out of the equation so that way, you did this.
cool.
We're just here to assist you because everybody deserves their spotlight, right?
That's cool.
And didn't really work out in my favor that much. They were really mean to me.
What?
oh,
Like,
really?
but I mean, I was like super positive.
Mean girls out in the jungle.
Of course.
Did you
course.
not watch it?
Yes, I've seen it. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very sad for me because I was really excited. Like, dude, this is a female partner. Like, we're
Right.
teams. We are awesome out here. I was
Yeah.
so excited and yet disappointed.
Wow.
At the
Yeah.
same time.
Wow.
But
Yeah, it got very catty. I was surprised.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
only half of it. Like,
Really?
it was very difficult. But
Oh, wow.
Wow.
so imagine being stuck with somebody
Yeah,
and then they're just
imagine.
they're not very nice.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, what do you do and how you handle yourself?
I've had friends
and,
like that.
I
Being
mean,
out, they're like, "Why am I out with you tonight? You're not fun to be with."
yeah,
You're a
you should
jerk."
not have gone out today
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Why did I ride with you? You know what I mean?
As we get older,
I
we
wish I
say,
had driven.
is it loud? Is it going to be loud there or should I drive my own car?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, listen, if
It's
I
true. I
wanna
always
leave,
drive
like,
myself.
I don't want to
I
stay till
always
the end.
drive
I do
myself.
for sure.
Oh, me too. If I don't want. You get in your 40s, like I don't want to stay to the end. So like,
Yeah.
you're gonna be leaving early because I don't want to be roped in. If it's bad, I gotta bolt.
Even if it's not bad, I'm still gonna bolt.
Yeah. It's funny.
I love my alone time in the car too. I
Yeah.
love driving like alone. Like I don't want to.
I know. You talk to yourself and you
Yeah.
you have your friends in there
Yeah.
with you.
Do you listen to music and sing or do you just let it be quiet?
It depends on the mood. Sometimes got incredible tunes on. Sometimes I love the silence. Yeah.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
I karaoke. I'm a karaoke. I'll be out there. If I
Same.
want to be
Hey.
alone, I'd be out there just
Yeah.
fishing and they're recording me. I'm like, you guys, I need you to go away because you're making too much noise. Because
Yeah,
this
I was
fish
always
can
wondering
sense
that.
vibration.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm really particular when I fish. And I know the times. I know how to do it. I want to make sure that they
Yeah.
don't, set me up for failure.
Yeah.
And I tell my camera crew, you can't go with me. You can set up cameras where I'm going, but
Right.
you have to stay away because these fish are so smart.
Yeah.
It's weird in Peru. It was different type of fishing style. Like you had to trick them. You had to like kind of bait them, almost like fly fishing with what you got. And then the caimans, they were insane. They were aggressive. I got bit a couple of times. It doesn't show that because I didn't have
What?
a camera crew, but I caught like 3 little ones.
Yeah.
And they were about this big. They were delicious, but
I would love that.
What do
Yeah.
they taste like?
I would say if you could have a chicken and a snake together, that's what a caiman tastes like.
What does a snake taste like? Never had
A snake tastes like a chicken and fish together.
Chicken and fish. Okay.
And it's kind of stringy, though.
Stringy.
Like string cheese.
Well, when we go on an adventure, we will get a snake and
Yeah.
we will make it happen.
Do you have,
I'm so down.
Yeah?
I
I am
love this.
so
Do you have like
down.
do you have like a little garlic salt, or do you do a little something to it?
Oh,
With a lot of
God.
oil? No, I'm kidding.
You guys should seriously consider doing a fun tour of going across the United States and finding what's called the hidden gems. Just an idea for you guys.
Mm.
And every state you do something wild, whether it's
Yeah.
wrestling alligators, getting your reaction. They'll train you how to do it.
It's a great idea.
It could be anything, forging a knife. You
Yeah.
know, it could
I
be.
love it.
I would love to watch you guys do that.
I want to
because
do that. I want to forge a knife.
You should. You got to
Yeah.
come.
I've done
I'm
some
telling
knife throwing
you.
and stuff. We have a mutual friend at Terran.
Yeah, Andy's the
Tactical.
weapons guy.
Yeah, I know Taryn and
I
Tatiana.
I worked at Terran's
Andy
for
builds
a while.
guns. He's like
No,
an
it's
expert gun
one
builder.
point in my life.
Oh, you're a shooter too?
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very good
Wow.
shooter.
Big
Very
time.
good
Terran
shooter.
and I have been buds for like 10 years.
He's so sweet.
sweet
I wrote
dude.
Tatiana yesterday. I was
Really?
like, yeah, because I know her through Bobby Bushcraft, my friend.
Yes, yep.
And we'll go out there and do some shooting with
Yep.
him. I went and trained with Travis Haley like a week before.
Cool.
So I was like super stoked to get out there. I'm a lefty shooter too.
Oh, no.
So
Are you
I'm like very
left-handed?
fast. Yeah, I'm
I'm
left-handed.
left-handed.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a left. And it's funny because when people watch me shoot, they're like, would you ever consider doing a shooting competition? And I was like, I only shoot from the military and on my off time. I got my concealed carry in Colorado. I'm very proud of it. But at the same time, I'm not a professional and I just do it for fun. I just have
Yeah.
great accuracy. But if you ever, have you ever shot
really
at
deadly? With my
Yeah.
gun? That's a hobby.
I've done knife fighting with Two Lamb too.
That's
So
insane.
he trained me. I got my butt kicked by him.
Wait.
Mm.
You ever heard of Two Lamb?
Uh-uh.
He does knife fighting training in Colorado, which is really cool. And I used to travel around for a magazine with Bobby Bushcraft and do like filming and interviews. And I would be always the person
Cool.
getting slammed on the ground, getting shot at, doing crazy things. Not shot at, should I say, shooting with them and surviving them. But Two Lamb, like, he trained me and he was like, oh, okay, how you doing? I was like, oh, this is great fighting, man. They put me
Yeah.
with this rookie dude, even though I'm a rookie. Comes over and he goes, why don't you practice with me? And I was like, oh, okay. He slams my body so hard on the ground, like in this
What's wrong
move,
with
that
this
I was
guy?
like, but like he caught me before he hurt me.
Okay.
But I was like, wow, I did not expect that. But he reminded me of who I am.
Yeah.
And like not to get, too comfortable with what you're doing. And like, oh, I'm good at this. I really
Right.
have, we just always got to learn and train is what
This
I
is
think.
true.
Two lamb.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Two lamb.
He's a phenomenal fighter.
Wow.
But so I just kind of got in the realm of all these
So don't
little
read into the
free
lamb
people.
part too much because they're pretty friendly. Lambs are nice, right? Not two lambs.
Joe.
You put two lambs together and they get very angry.
No.
Two
No, no,
lambs
no,
together is
no.
not ever a good combo. They get very irate.
Oh
with each
my
other.
This
gosh.
guy.
I'm kidding.
Actually, it would be amazing seeing you in some of these situations.
Two
Joe.
lamb.
oh my God.
It would be amazing.
See, if you guys went and did all these crazy activities like shooting air guns,
would love
do
it.
I wanna save the world the
parasailing, do
movies.
like
Fun.
some
I
fun
wanna save the
stuff.
world.
I
And
agree.
Each personality is so different with you guys that it would be so great to watch, like a series of you do these crazy things.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
you're probably gonna fail. Maybe you won't. You
yeah.
might survive. This guy's gonna be fine. You just got to get out there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
I don't think he would be
That'd be all right.
fine.
Well, if you guys come to Colorado, I would love to take you to Moscow, Colorado, and we could do some alligator training.
Okay.
Awesome.
We'll
That
get in
would
the
be
water
so
with
rad.
them. We'll pull them out,
Oh,
and the
I'd
owner
love
is
that.
so sweet and kind, and he'll get you guys out there. You got to be barefoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason
So
why,
no boots.
So you can feel them, right?
no
Okay.
socks.
No
Yeah.
So you can feel?
So you
Yeah.
can feel them,
Yeah.
and like as you walk, it's like a down and in movement.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That sounds
intense.
intimidating.
Well, you would think, but if you can go in there and be like, I'm gonna do this, and just listen to the program, and I'll be in
Yeah.
there with you, you'll be just
What
fine.
do they eat?
And the water temp, the water
they
temp.
don't,
They're not really gonna eat you.
Or
They
bite.
may bite you,
How
but
bad is the bite?
Oh, real bad, but you don't want to get
it's
that.
not like. Oh wow! I guess I don't want to answer that because who knows where that could go.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it could
bad.
be like
you
a
ever
little
seen,
bite
Crocodile
or a
Dundee,
big bite.
Andy?
No,
it doesn't
it's
go well at
not
the beginning
like
there
that.
with the guy.
The problem is not if they bite you. The problem is if they start to shake and roll.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Because then they're
tear.
going to tear you.
Well, I don't want him to
Woo!
rip
You're-
a foot off, you know?
They would start you out with like a 5 to 6 foot.
Right.
Get you guys, comfortable, even
Yeah.
2 feet, just to kind of feel them and get to know who. They
I mean,
are and hang out
I've
with.
I've have experience with smaller caiman.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be cool with that totally.
Where are you with Cayman?
Well, I'm a reptile guy, so I work a lot with. So a buddy of mine, Jeff Lem, who used to work with Steve Irwin at the Queensland Zoo for a long time. When unfortunately Steve passed, he came over to the San Diego Zoo. We met at a reptile convention, so most of my big reptile experiences are with him. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm a big reptile guy. I literally, so we have a pool back here and I turned it into a pond.
Didn't go so well.
It's back in the pool now. It's back in
No,
the
no,
It's
no.
now
It
back.
went- hold on.
Back as a,
I'm very proud of this. It went amazing. The
till
fish in
nature
there-
completely took it back.
No,
For
until
about 6 months. It was
until I
great.
moved out and I had to turn it back into a pool.
No, it was. Nasty.
But I preferred the pond. I mean, I had
You couldn't see it.
no, you
Oh.
wouldn't. It was a real. It had an incredible
Biofilter.
yeah, biofilter. It was awesome. I built
Aquaponics.
aquaponics. I was really into it.
Wow.
I was
know that
growing
word.
vegetables and stuff
That's all I
off
had
of
to
the
hear about is
pond.
aquaponics. I know the word.
Yeah.
It's like ingrained into the frontal lobe of my brain.
Aquafina. No,
Yeah, so
aquaponics, yeah.
Not good water.
Not
Around
good
no,
water.
it's terrible water.
Terrible.
Around the entire perimeter of the pool, I put those biobeds where you plant all your vegetables. You pump the pool, which was pond water, into the beds, and it filters back in. The plants clean the water, which support the fish, and then you
That
put
is
in organic
cool.
fish feed, and everything's organic. So it was super cool. The only reason I didn't do tilapia is because our temps get a little too cool here, so I had to do koi. But if you can keep your water temp up, you could do tilapia and have fish and vegetables year round, no problem, all organic.
Wow.
With just a body of water like that. So I'm big into that. But anyway, back to alligators. So yeah, I always wanted to put alligators in there, but there's an issue with LA County. I can't do that.
Correct. Apparently, it's illegal.
illegal.
But this is, like I said, a judge-free circle.
Yeah. But you know how this started? Exactly. And to be honest, I would have. But do you
So
know
we
how
put
this,
a bull shark. We got some brackish water, and now we have a bull.
Do you know how this started?
And when the officials came over, we told them, be our guest. There are no sharks.
Hold
So
on.
check it out.
So how
Go for a swim.
how this all started was I had green water and Google Maps picked it up, and so the city came over.
No,
This is
are
true.
you serious?
And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, they get on you because mosquitoes now in LA are really, really bad.
Yeah.
And they're worried about dengue fever and all this stuff. But so they
In
came
LA now, so it's
Yeah.
basically we might as well.
That is crazy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
malaria and dengue.
That-
It's gonna come here now because we have the tiger. We have the tiger mosquitoes here now, and they're really bad. They're worse here. I have more of a problem going out my backyard here than I do in Florida. Way worse.
What?
They'll
Yeah, it's
attack
insane.
you.
I had no idea
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
really bad.
Bad.
Anyway, they came over and he was like, yeah, you gotta. I was like, well, what can I do? I don't really like to use a lot of chemicals. I don't want to do that. And he was like, well, there's another solution that we're okay with. Go stock it with minnows. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, we'll provide you with the minnows. And I was like, are you serious?
Wow.
So they brought over a big plastic bag full of minnows and I dumped it in and I was like, wait a minute. Can I turn this into a full pond? He's like, actually, if you want to do that, we would love it. The more fish, the better because they eat the mosquito larvae.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so that's where it all started. And I just turned it into a natural water system, which worked out amazingly. I know what he thinks is it didn't work out amazing because it got all clouded and green, but that's actually what a natural water way is supposed to look like. It's not supposed to look all glimmering and
I
beautiful.
wanted it to look like the Blue Lagoon.
He just wanted it to look
Oh,
beautiful.
good movie.
Yeah, you know.
Anyway, I
'Cause-
love
'cause
alligators.
For the first couple months, we could swim with we were like swimming with the koi fish and the turtles and the green
Yeah, 'cause-
iguanas and stuff, and it was really fun. But then
Yeah.
it got so nasty that I was like, I don't want to swim in this anymore.
Like
Oh.
Jomo, my Cuban iguana, is the size of he's 5 feet. So he's the size of a caiman, and his
Wow,
bites
that
wor-
is-
his
He
bite
bit
is
me.
insane.
He bit me
You do not
by
want to get
accident.
bit by him.
He bit
Yeah,
me.
he did bite
and
you.
I got sepsis.
Yeah, he did.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just recently found this, and I'm actually because
Immune.
I'm immune to it because I've been dealing with them since I was so young. I've been bitten so many times, scratched so many times that like when a guy does that, when they slowly inject the venom, they can become immune. I'm immune to it, so I never understood it. But people who aren't, if they get bit by an iguana, they swell up really bad because they actually do have a type of venom in their saliva, like
is
a
crazy.
Komodo dragon in
Yep.
a sense.
That is pretty
So,
trippy. I had no idea that that's what
Yeah.
you were into. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, big time into
Oh.
that. So the reptiles out there, I'm always shocked because I see people
He
like
would do well.
walking by.
Like he would catch
I'd
every
I'd
lizard
catch
for
everything
sure
out there.
because he does it anyway.
I do. That's what I do. So
Yeah.
every time I see him walking by, I'm like, oh, I know I know how they could have caught that.
Like even like even I know how to like not just from watching him do it, like to make sure the shadow doesn't resemble a bird. When you go for a lizard, you got to go underneath and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
this stuff.
Mhm.
Like
their
just
biggest
the
prey is
basic-
a bird, a raptor.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
if you're coming on top, you're
done.
Yeah.
They're pretty interesting. I mean, like some of these challenges, they're out there and they're killing these things and eating them, and they're
Yeah.
like the number one thing you should not eat out there. Every person
Yeah.
who has had any type of, I'd say, iguana in any manner, if you look at their tail, it's like filled with worms
Yep.
and stuff. And I'm like,
Nematoids.
yeah. And
Yeah.
they'll boil it. And of course, Gary, he'll eat anything.
He's
I
insane.
mean, yeah, he's gross. I mean, the grossest thing I've ever experienced with him is, one, he tricked me into doing something really against my morals as a survivalist. But
Well, what was it?
well, so Gary's a little wild, okay? And he'll
Yeah.
eat anything, and he likes to get people's expressions, and they want, oh, this is for a great TV show. We're gonna talk. I'm like, I don't want to be that person. I just
Yeah.
want to come out here and survive with you guys. I don't want you to
Can't
kill
believe it.
yourself.
Yeah.
And so he decided, you know what, this alligator meat was 3 days old, and it was in the
Ooh.
sun, and we got
Ooh.
most of it off, but it was in the hands. And Gary's like, why didn't you tell me to get the meat out of the hands? And I was like, well, I was just assuming you're doing it. I didn't think I needed to tell you. But he was like, this is really good meat. And I said, well, what do you want to do with it? And he was like, well, why don't we boil it and eat it? I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds good. Well, as he put it in our only water pot, he didn't tell us there was a bunch of maggots inside of it.
Oh my goodness.
And one rule, I will never drink any water that's been boiled because I
that's a
have
big
already
one.
learned from that experience. And also, too, I will never eat maggots. It's like the grossest thing
Oh,
on
yeah,
earth.
no.
It is like death. You're eating death. And I won't do it. So me and Max are sitting there watching Gary boil this meat, and it kind of smells funny. I was like, is something wrong with that? And he was like, nope, it's great. Don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, okay.
would
And
he-
then I go to look at it, and all I see are these hundreds of maggots floating on the water of the meat. And I was like,
Why would he do that?
"Oh." And he's like, you know what, guys? I just got to tell you, if you eat this, it's perfectly fine. I've eaten them a ton of times. The meat's fine. And the meat looked good from the coloring, but the maggots kind of was like, ugh.
Why would?
So he hands me a piece of meat, and I was like, well, you know, if Gary has done this, I think I should be okay. Either I'm going to puke or I'm going to poop myself, because girls poop too.
Yeah.
Or what's going to happen is I'm going to get kicked out of the show because I'm just not going to be able to make it. So I take the meat, I try it, and I'm like, oh, it didn't taste bad. I was like, oh my gosh. And then Max does it, the big hunter. We're sitting there, and Carrie goes, after he swallowed it, he goes, man, I can't believe you guys did that. And I was like, what? It was a trick. He's like, I wouldn't even eaten that. And I was like, no.
Shut the. Wait a minute. Why would he do that?
He eventually
What's wrong with
ate
this
the
guy?
meat. He was just messing with us. But
Oh
it was
God.
so
Oh
bad.
God. That's so
And
bad.
then as he's deconstructing, so I got an 8-foot alligator, and I love alligators. Don't
Yeah,
get me wrong.
they're
I'm
cool.
a big animal person. I'm a
Mhm.
sucker. This alligator ate my treble hook, but also kept eating my catfish bait. So I was getting very angry with it because I was catching like 18-inch catfish out there. I was very proud of it. And then all of a sudden my lines started getting snatched up, and the alligator was taking all of my hooks. And I was like, damn it, I got to get this gator. So I baited it with some raw catfish. I had sit in the sun for a couple days. And that night it came up and it swallowed it. And it was huge. It was like 8.5 feet long.
That's big.
So I pulled it out of the water, and I got on its back, and I took my barracuda knife design I do, and I just chopped its head off. I cried when I did it
Yeah.
because I knew we needed the food. It was like day 16. And
His
it
whole
was,
head, like the whole.
yeah, I cut its whole head off.
Okay.
And then we stripped it down, and we made like 14 days of beef jerky.
Wow.
Yeah.
We
that's-
smoked it. It was so wonderful.
Wow.
But by day 3 of the alligator, I kept calling it Bertha as a joke. I was like, damn you, Bertha.
That's funny. Our
Yeah.
grandfather
Yeah.
used
Big Bertha.
to call
Oh,
everything that was
Bertha.
like
Big
that.
Bertha.
Big Bertha.
Yeah. So did my grandpa. So
Oh,
that's why, yeah.
There we go.
He's
There
a
we
big
go.
fisherman. He's like, damn it, that's a big Bertha. And I was
Yeah.
like, so I say
That's
that.
what Pop did. That's
Yep.
so
Yes.
Bertha.
Bertha.
That's just their generation.
Yeah, it
He was
is.
a
You know,
Navy
it's
man.
definitely
He was
a
a fisherman.
lingo.
Our grandfather.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh man! So after 3 days of the gator being already deconstructed, what was left over was its penis. And
Oh, I
Now,
remember.
Gary-
gators have a hemipenis.
I remember this.
huh?
They have a hemipenis.
Yeah.
Like a Dodge engine. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
it was
Hemi?
two.
Like in the
There,
Dodge?
it looks
Oh.
like
Two.
like this type of C
Two.
little thing
Yeah.
going on.
What?
Yeah.
It's like not a shocker, but a
Yeah.
sorry, that's no. They called it the shocker. The
Yeah,
guys.
you're right.
I'm telling
Hey.
you, lingo was told to me.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
Not into that, but I'm saying.
1,000% fact what you said. That's a true statement. The fact that you just said that and said it kind of really sweet was really amazing. You may sound like a little shocker, you know, that thing. Oh, the shocker. Okay. All right. Wow. Brings me back to junior high and middle school and high school. When that's, for some reason, all guys want to talk about.
I
I don't
know.
know why. But,
No,
all right.
but-
Wow, that's amazing. So it's
It's a
a
hemi penis.
They have two
Joe.
penises.
two penis.
Yeah.
Get with the program.
Because one doesn't cause enough trouble. So let's have two.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
no-
there's two.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
after staying there for 3 days, obviously there was a lot of flies and just
remember
it was
this.
disgusting. And Gary goes, come on, Max, let's go be manly. And I was like, oh, what are you guys
yeah,
doing
that's
now?
right.
Even though
Good
we
for
weren't
you.
hungry, I was feeding them like 3
Good for
catfish
you.
a day to 2. I was like, come on, guys,
Wow.
we really don't need to do this.
Yeah.
But he was like, I'm going to show you what's up and how to be a man. I was like, well, I've got a vagina. I'm definitely not a man.
Yeah.
But I'll
Yeah.
watch
You
it.
actually
Good
tell
for
him to show you how
you.
to be a
I'll
man?
watch this. And he grabs the
I'm
penis.
gonna eat a dick.
He holds it up. Yeah.
That makes you
he
a
said
man?
that. He said, I'm going to eat a dick. And he grabs the penis
Yeah.
and he pulls it up and he bites into it and it squirts
Oh!
out. And I was like this. I was
Yeah.
like,
Gary talks,
oh
he
my
talks down here
gosh.
like
Like,
this.
what do you
Yeah.
do?
Oh.
And I was like, Gary. And he's like, yeah, that's right. And he's like, come on, Max, let's do it. Like,
Man, it's so bad.
influential, poor
You
Max.
take this head.
And so Max bit it, and then they
I'll take
looked
this
at
head, you
me,
take
and
this
I'm
head.
like, no.
It's the Lady
it
in the
was
Tramp
so
scene.
Yeah.
bad.
Oh my God.
It was so
Oh my God,
gross.
it's the Lady in the Tramp scene.
Yes, pretty much. Pretty much. It was so
With
bad,
Gary
you
and
guys.
Max.
So
And
Max does, yes, he totally did
Oh my
it, and I'm
goodness.
like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys did
And
that.
they
And they go,
call
come on,
it
Amber, join the team, and I was
Eleanor.
like, yep, I don't eat dick. Sorry, guys.
Wow.
It's just really funny out of nowhere, and I walked away. I just like walked away with grace, and I'm like, and then
Oh,
they're just
man,
talking
that's
how
amazing.
proud they are,
Was
and
it
I was
cooked?
like,
Was it jerky? It was jerky
no,
penis
the
or-
penis was like cartilage almost.
Yeah.
It looked like kind of hard to explain. I don't really look at a lot of alligator dicks, but I will say
Yeah.
it looked kind of like, yeah, it looked like cartilage, I guess
Yeah.
you could say.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a different time when he put the eyeballs on his eyes and got like.
That was it.
That was that time.
Yeah.
And then he got sick, right? And he got.
He did. He had the poops, but I mean, like,
Didn't he
nothing-
go home after that or something? He had a headache or something.
Yeah, he did get sick now that I think about it because
Yeah.
he left up. So I
can't
made it
see.
to day
He's like, I
yeah.
can't see anymore.
He goes, I
And you're
can't see
yeah,
anymore.
he's walking around with alligator eyes on his head, like playing a joke. He's going, look at me, look at me. And then it cuts to him and he's, I can't see anything. I'm feeling really bad. I don't know what it is. It's so good.
Come on, man. This
Dude,
Oh.
I felt for him. I mean, I love
felt for
everybody.
him.
I felt
But
for
you
him.
would hang out with him.
I would totally
See,
hang out
I
with him.
know. It's
Yeah.
like you love him, and when you get to know
I love
like his
everybody.
real side,
I
he's
love all
so
these- I mean, you guys-
amazing.
No, there's a few guys on there that I do not.
Yeah,
like.
but the legends I love. I really do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, EJ's amazing. Jeff, I even love. I don't know how you guys' experience with Jeff is. I love. Yeah.
You have to
I
skin-
live for this right now. I love all that stuff.
Do you
It's so
skin the
crazy.
skin off and then take the meat out and put it over rocks? I mean, is that how you make jerky? How do you make
You
jerky?
smoke
Smoke it.
So actually, we make a rack that's just like a bunch of sticks laid out. You got like 8 of them together, and you just tie them together like a frame, like we're building a table almost.
Okay.
And then you put it over the smoker, and you could hang it with fishing line if you want above the smoke, about 3 to 4 feet. And then you just cut the meat in thin strips, and then you just let it smoke, and it lasts you for weeks. It's awesome.
Really?
It's really good.
You need to know this stuff, Joe,
Yeah,
especially if
Joe.
the grid goes down, man.
I mean, I don't think you're gonna kill
Smoke.
an alligator, but
Yeah,
I think that
in
if you were,
Calabasas.
Never know.
but if you guys ever go camping and get like a snake or
Yeah.
something, you could do that with that
Yeah.
too. That meat is so good. It's like just peels off and then
Yeah.
you can
Snake?
smoke it.
Snake meat?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've had snake eggs before. That was
Snake
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Eggs?
Ooh.
Okay. Is
I've
it
never-
like chicken eggs? Can you scramble them or?
No.
You can scramble them actually.
Really?
I hard boiled them actually in the Everglades on my first challenge.
Wow.
I went out there and caught like a 9-foot water moccasin.
Yep.
She was the cotton mouse, I guess you
Yep.
could say. And my partner was like, Amber, come help me. Bring the
gosh.
knife. And he's pinning it down. And he's like, what do we do? And cut the head off. We buried the head because they still bite aggressively
know.
even after they're dead. And
Do they really?
Yep.
yeah.
You have to. You cannot keep
It's
the head
so
around.
dangerous, and you could still get bit by them.
Yeah.
They just constantly are like this going at you.
Like
with their
zombie
muscle
heads.
reflex.
Yeah.
Yeah, for about an hour.
Reptiles are amazing that way. They will have reflexes for hours after they're dead, so you have to be careful.
The snake thing though was really cool.
Okay.
So we skin it. I showed him how to skin it like a tube sock. You
Mhm.
cut
Just
the head
pulls
off, you
right
grab
off,
the meat,
right?
you peel it down, and it's inside out. But I wanted to save the skin,
Okay.
so we peed on it a lot, which it saved it, which was really good.
What?
But,
Does that preserve it?
your urine,
Interesting.
any type of animal hide.
yeah,
You
let's
can
say all
tie it
high.
up, just string it up as wide as you can, and start urinating on it.
Does it
because you're not
smell
stressed.
like urine?
Probably,
Because
but I
at
don't
that
think
point,
you're
you
really
don't
gonna.
Your senses are all out of. You're not smelling the roses at that point. So who
No.
cares? Okay.
You're probably super stink out
Copy.
there.
Copy. Yeah. It's,
But when
you're
we
fitting
peel,
in.
when we peeled that, it was so
your,
gross.
Your smell kind of go when it comes to that stuff, or you just kind of
Well, Well, I got to be honest. By day 6, I noticed that my senses were heightened. Like I could hear things differently. I could smell
That's
the
cool.
production crew come up about
No
when they were
way.
upwind.
That's
And then
so
downwind,
cool.
I could smell their toothpaste as their deodorant. I could smell their shampoo,
makes
and I was
sense.
like, "Gosh, you are very strong."
Okay, so
Yeah.
my
That makes
brothers
sense.
always, and they've
Wow.
even given me crap on this show about it.
Well, that's
As
because
a kid,
you're not on.
I wanted to be.
because
I
you were-
wanted to gain these senses, so I didn't shower. And
Oh.
my family,
Reek, though. He
my
reeked.
family
He had
got really
horrible body odor.
on me about it because I started
We
to
couldn't sit there and
smell.
eat with him. It was really
Because, but I wanted to be wild. I wanted to blend in to the
Yeah.
wild and not blend into modern society. So
Yeah.
I've always wondered.
How old
that.
were you when you did that?
I started when I was like 7,
21.
6 or 7. I started to do it. There was a time when I even
He
went,
said 21.
and I feel really bad about this, but I mean, the
I'm
whole
not
neighborhood was
showering.
involved, cops, firemen, but I full on made myself a little boma in a pine tree. I was young. I was maybe 5 and left the family. Like they
What?
oh yeah, they had everybody out looking for me. It was bad.
I don't
felt really
remember
bad.
this. I
got
probably
real big
wasn't
trouble.
born.
Probably
Real
not.
big. No, you weren't born.
No, you weren't born.
I was literally like 5 or 6, and I got real big trouble because I just decided, I'm gonna go spend the night out there, And I'm big.
Not
on
gonna
it.
tell anybody.
Not gonna tell anybody.
You were 5.
Yeah.
I would have been freaking out.
Yeah, my mom. It's ingrained in my brain. I got in
Matt and
probably
I
the
were-
biggest trouble
Matt
I've
and I
ever
were a
gotten
little
in.
different. I was singing and dancing on the Tonight Show when I was 5.
Yeah,
I wasn't a tree.
yeah, it's true. That is the difference, though.
That's
That
true.
is really the
That's true.
difference. We are that's where we have a lot of things in common, but we are polar
Very different about that.
opposites
Yeah.
in this regard. Polar opposites.
So I know about your hobby. Like, what is your hobby? What are you really into?
Oh boy, lots of
Music.
stuff. I love storytelling. I love storytelling.
Yeah,
So like
storytelling.
movies, music. I love writing, making, directing movies is great. So what I like work is almost my hobby. I'm very blessed that it goes hand in hand. But
Oh, yeah, do what you love and
yeah,
don't work another
totally.
day in your
But
life.
I love my dog, Shmi.
Your dog is
Love-
so
I'm
handsome.
a big animal guy. Like I love
Yeah.
animals. Very compassionate with animals. Probably got that from Matt. I have a motorcycle, and that I'm a big.
That was the one outside.
That's my motorcycle.
I hit it earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's okay. Just adds
really-
character.
Joking,
It
I
adds
didn't hit
character.
it.
And it's
Honestly,
really dusty.
it's so dusty. I at my motor.
No, it's super nice. I
it's-
loved it. I thought it was
it's-
great.
It's a fun one. I love it. I love riding. It's dangerous out here, so I don't do it too often. But I do like it. I ride around my neighborhood, and I work at Terran's every once in a while. Like Terran Tactical was a big thing for me for a while.
He's so great.
Yeah.
He's the sweetest person.
He
I
really
got to
is.
spend SHOT Show with him last year and just be with his team.
He's
and-
super fun.
And it's fun. It's just you don't really know anybody. You just see like a facade of them, of who they are, and then you meet him in person. You're like, this guy is so sweet.
Oh,
and
he's a very nice
genuine. And it's
person,
like he's
yeah.
huggable.
Very.
He's
very.
the most
He's a
huggable
super
person. I'm
nice-
always like,
very generous, very wonderful.
he's just
very,
kind.
yeah.
It's nice. And
Yeah.
I'm always telling him, I was like, you got to surround yourself with good people, man.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
true. A new hobby I've gotten into is I've befriended. Do you know who Tony Horton is?
Tony Horton.
He's like a
no.
big
P90X.
P90X guy.
Oh,
X. Yeah, he's a bud, and he's been he is very so much hospitality. Has me over to his house to work out. He's got like a ninja course, American Ninja Warrior course.
oh, that's pretty cool.
I'm trying. 8 months. I still can't do it. I've been
It's hard.
It is. I'm almost there. I can get all the way.
Salmon bar, I gotta say, you really have come up.
Oh, I can do all that stuff, no problem. But
Oh, I
it's-
can do
yeah.
that, no
It's,
problem.
there's like one transition that I still just can't get because I spend too much time hanging from my
You
left
shred
arm.
yourself too, like you just destroy your shoulders and your quad, your forearms.
Joe, there he goes. That's
Yeah.
it's life, man. It's all part. It's a metaphor for life.
Yeah, it
Some
is.
shit's scary, and you got to just
Oh,
do
I
it.
know. Yeah.
Even if you wind up with a little bit of a nick here and there.
I don't
That's
care.
character, like the bike. So destroy it, hit it.
No,
Whatever you
I
wanna do.
totally, I didn't hit it.
You
I'm
can.
totally joking. I'm an Indian Scout.
I know.
Girl.
I should have gotten an Indian. I got a really overpriced Harley that's always broken.
And it's bloated.
What do you mean it's broken?
The battery dies every 3 seconds. It's like
Don't you have a temporary battery
I-
charger in your
a
garage?
trickle
should,
charger, I
man.
do.
Why don't you
But
have a
I can't.
trickle?
So the new Softails they've redesigned. You can't
Yep.
jump them. You have to
You
like
can't.
use
I know.
screwdrivers.
Yep.
What like these guys are attaching.
I know his dad. I was
what
like, Danny, I'll
the
pull my
heck?
check up. I'll jump this thing in a second.
It's
He's
so
like, "You can't."
bad. It's so bad.
What about your battery connector that's underneath your seat though? It just kind of hangs out. You can pull it out.
a trickle charger?
Yeah,
you can put in
you
there.
could-
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
put
know.
I would
just,
recommend it no matter
know,
what. And
know.
I
Plug it
ride
in.
pretty constantly right now. It's warming up in Colorado where I can start getting on my bike and
Do
stuff.
you have an Indian? Is that what you have?
Yeah.
The bobbers?
I have a
Freaking-
2021
they're
and
so
I bought
cool.
it brand new. And oh
They're
gosh.
so cool.
Well, I I secretly was filming, and I finally told my producer, I was like, listen, if I make it through this challenge, when I get out of here, I'm going to buy a motorcycle. And she's like, oh, tell me about it. So she's recording me talk about this motorcycle, going in depth. And they did some behind the scenes interview. What are you going to do when you get out? And I was like, just covered in crap across my face. I look so rough. I was like, damn, I'm going to get out and get myself a motorcycle, you know?
It's amazing.
And it was a lot of fun, but I literally went in December when it was snowing outside in Colorado, and I went to Indian dealership, and I was like, I've never rode a motorcycle before. I had no dirt bikes. I do mopeds. I'm that girl. But I was like, that's the one I want. And everybody was like, what? And my husband's like, how do you know you want this bike? I was like, I see myself on this bike.
Yeah.
This is the bike.
speak
And he
to
was
you.
like, how are you expecting to get this home? I'm just curious. And I was like, well, you're going to ride it home for me. And he was like,
Rad.
what? And I was
Rad.
like, he did it. He got on the motorcycle at 30 degrees with the wind chill.
No.
My husband is a rock star. He's very hardcore. And I was like, I can't believe he did it. Because
No.
even I didn't realize how cold it was.
Yeah, that's
Way.
insane.
He rode it all the way home and he's shaking like
That's
this.
insane.
Ooh.
Well, the reason why
That's
wanted
nuts.
it home was because this 300-pound guy, after I purchased the bike, I paid cash for it.
Oof.
And I was so excited. It was only 14 grand brand new.
That's
The Indian Scout
that's-
Bobbers.
I
Like,
know,
it
they're
was-
great.
I've been waiting for
They're-
this
they're
moment.
Great.
Yeah.
They're great.
And this 300-pound guy got on my bike, and I was like, ooh, no.
Nice.
I said, the sign says sold, and he goes, what's it to you? And I was like,
It's
It's
sold
my
to
bike.
me.
so my husband puts his hand on my chest like this and says, it's okay. And I said, I got this. And I was like, get off my bike. And he was like, oh. And I was like, geez.
Let's
Anyway.
get it
I
home.
know, and they sit him on the floor with the
But
tag,
he was so
and
big,
it's
he
still
sat
there.
the bike down. It was
Oh,
so
yeah,
bad.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
is he going to break my suspension?
Yeah, I know.
But
What
I was
color?
trying to be positive.
What color?
It's so it's black and silver. I did the 1950 style Brad Pitt version of the
Oh,
Benjamin Buttons with the
my
brown seat.
Gosh.
So I have a brown
It's the
seat.
coolest
Why
one.
didn't you get that?
What
That's
do you
the
mean,
coolest
bro?
bike ever.
Don't worry about it. bro.
And
Don't worry
and the
about
bike, I'm telling you, it has been the best motorcycle
I
that I've
know.
ever
I love
had.
the Indians.
I have two other ones. So now I'm kind of like, it's just nimble, lightweight,
know.
550 pounds,
I know,
1250
that's the only- yeah, I
cc.
know,
It's
I
dope.
know.
I've
I
got
know.
8,000 miles on it.
Wow.
I go across Montana.
Are you kidding?
Wow.
I
See,
love riding.
I used to have a Sportster, and then I had like a Honda. This is sort of new, not really. I got to put more miles on it. It barely has 1,000 miles.
It's hard to ride around here, man.
It
Just
is.
in your
Hard,
guys'
bro.
traffic,
It's too
like
dangerous.
It's a nightmare.
It's
You
so.
can't. You just
I
don't
thought
like
it'd be
cruise.
like Denver. No,
No.
it is not like Denver. If you guys ever come to Colorado, though, you got to come visit.
We
It's
love
super
coming.
100%.
I really want to
cool,
forge a
man.
knife so bad. That would be
And my
so
husband's
cool.
so cool. He knows who you guys are. He goes, "Are they handsome?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Why don't
He's
you
a badass.
look them
He's got
up?"
nothing to worry. He's got nothing to worry about.
No,
He's so
super cool.
funny. He's great, and so he's actually in the forge right now forging, and he does feather Damascus patterns. He does
Cool.
knife fighters. I'll show you guys some pictures. He's really good, and he has people fly from around the country to come and pay to forge with him
That's-
just to
yeah.
learn how to make a knife.
Rad.
And you guys ever watch Forged and Fire?
Yeah.
I about to say I love that. I love
okay,
that show.
well, Jason Knight, the guy with the kilt with the mohawk.
Well, yeah.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so that was my husband's best friend, and when all
Okay.
the show came together, it was really cool. Like the knife world's a small community, man.
Yeah.
You guys ever need any knives for movies? Let me know what you want. We can make it.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
that's actually
100%.
Only if I can be an assistant, though.
100%.
Coffee.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We had to write in a knife
Definitely.
fight into
Well, no,
the action movie.
totally. We have an action movie coming up that will that Terrence's going to help us do some of the action on.
No,
and do
are
some
you
of the weapons.
serious?
Yeah, 'cause
We
I
gotta call
sucker-
him before I go.
Oh, absolutely. I'm supposed to go there today. I'm supposed to go there.
I
later.
wrote her
Yeah.
and said, "Are you guys shooting today? Call me. I'd love to come out."
Really? I don't know if
Yeah.
they're shooting. I'm going to go bother him about hooking us up with some of the armament for this movie.
Let me know when you're going. I'll
Okay.
go with you.
All right,
because
100%.
Because I was like, man, my Aunt Becky just flew out to Italy this morning,
Mm.
and I only had a couple hours with her, and I
Your
was
Aunt Becky
like,
flew to
well,
Italy
Yeah,
just for
she's
vacation.
just a
Are
vacation.
you Italian?
No.
No. Okay.
So I wish I was Italian to get that nice skin tone thing going on, but no, I'm
We're
Indian
Italian.
and
We're
yeah.
half Italian.
Yeah. Well, then right on. But you guys, it's so cool shooting and stuff. I can't believe you guys do all this. I didn't know that about you.
I still have a couple questions that I can't forget to ask.
No, ask away.
When you go, what like tools? Like what is like your survival? Like what mosquito net, duct tape? What would you? What is the go-to?
Oh man. Well, of course. Like, what's my primary trait that I have is Amber is fishing.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna bring
I
the
can
line
fish
hooks.
anywhere. As long as there's water around us, we will not go hungry because
Yeah.
I'm really good. And there's so many other things you can use with the fishing line as well.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you just got to get super creative with what you got. But man, if you can do some makeshift spear, a 3-prong spear, 4-prong, I mean, you're fine. As a knife, clearly.
yeah.
But now they're
Definitely.
giving us 2 tools, and yeah, which I'm excited about being here because I'm going on my retirement. They're like a little challenge. I'm kind of excited.
Wait, really?
Really?
Mhm.
Wait a minute.
That's why I was there. Why I'm here
So-
because I'm debating on going on another challenge, my
One
final
more?
retirement. Yeah.
No.
You're gonna do another one?
Way.
I'll put your guys' names in a tree out there while filming.
Dude,
Please.
please.
Wait, are you really
Yeah,
gonna go back
that's
out?
so
Are you really
rad.
gonna go back out?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait,
I've
that's
got
so
nothing
exciting.
to lose. I've got a really cool job, like a normal job. And I just got done filming for American Air Gunner. I got 4th place during that.
Cool.
That's so
Air
rad.
guns are
We gotta.
pretty dope.
That's so dope. I've
So-
never done that. I want to do that.
You know, I did not even go in this thinking I was going to win anything at all in this challenge. And I learned more about myself as a shooter because they don't help you. You're shooting air guns. You ever shot an air gun? It
No,
is.
really,
There's
no.
no recoil. There's like,
Is it a 22?
and you know, you're shooting a 38, a 22, a 50. I got a 50 cal at my house. You guys get to shoot when you come. And it's an air gun. There's no, it's
Wait,
not like
what?
a boom, boom.
Wait.
It's like boom. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun.
so cool.
And I have just enough acres to shoot, which is good. But it's something where you just kind of get into. And I started shooting, like, come shoot for us. Like, oh God, I'm not that good. So I went and trained with Taryn. And Taryn was like telling me different positions to go to
Mhm.
and react. And he was wonderful. And I got to see him before I went and filmed. And then I got 4th place. I won the
Cool.
trick shot challenge.
No way.
I shot a bottle cap off of 150 meters.
What?
And I spinned it off the bottle, the only one. It was the only time I was like, I can't believe I did this.
That's unbelievable.
And I was the only one. And you can't break it. You just got to hit it because there's a cap on the bottle, like
Yeah.
little cap, and you have to twist off. So the way you hit it is you have to hit the bottom of the cap so it twists.
Oh my
off.
gosh, that's
And I got to
insane.
save the cap. It was pretty cool. And so I just did that. But my new job that I have, they're like, are you going to go film? We kind of need to know your schedule. And I was like, well, are you supporting of this if I go? And they're like, well, how long will it be? I said, it's either going to be a 21-day or 45. And they're like, okay. I was like, I
That
can't
is
say no to
so
that.
Amazing.
cool.
Wow.
That is
cool.
so cool.
Wow, that's amazing. Just getting into the water, I always would have nightmares of like some sort of weird, like, like those things that climb up your nose and get into your brain, those weird amoebas that live
yeah.
in the water and all that.
Or the ones that get in your ears, or if you pee in the
Yes.
water in South America, it will go up
what?
your urethra
So
and
wait.
latch onto you.
Mhm.
This poor guy, he's never
I
going to
know.
go there. I'm
I
sorry, I don't mean
know.
to scare you.
No.
But it always
I'm
fearful.
already
But I peed in the water, not in a pool, but you know, I just, 'cause you got to have your private time. And
Yeah.
they
There's
There's
follow
no
you
toilet
everywhere.
paper. There's no toilet paper
No,
or anything.
of course not.
No, but you have plenty of leaves and you have your own pile.
I hear stones are better.
Huh?
Is that real? Like
stones.
a smooth stone versus a leaf?
I don't think
I
so.
got to
Matt.
be honest, I've never used a stone,
What-
but I could see the idea.
Demolition Man, are you?
Is that-
Well, because
three
leaves
Talking to
seashells?
shells.
Yeah, the 3 seashells.
Yeah,
What are you
you
saying?
definitely-
What are the 3 shows?
Violation.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely
John
rub-
Spartan, you've been violent.
Definitely
You
rub the
dumb-
leaves on your skin before you
John
rub
Spartan,
down there,
you're fine.
because you could pick a wrong leaf,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
and then you're in trouble.
That's what bothers me.
Yeah.
Like,
like a
what if
smooth river rock, in essence, would, would
smear it around?
no, would have a better, in essence of I don't know. That's just what I've been
You
told.
have to do the actual thing.
Yeah, I don't know what you're
showing
doing
us.
there.
We basically go into the anal cavity,
Yeah.
scrape out the poop.
I mean, look, you have to get real when you're surviving. I mean,
I
that's the
know,
whole
bro.
thing. Like you have
I
to,
know.
you have to be pretty real about things.
No, you
know?
really do.
No,
there have
no
been
baby wipes, huh?
no,
All right.
no, but even as a woman,
Yeah, how does that? I mean, what is
like
that? My mom always, because I forced my mom to watch it, she starts out by complaining, going, I can't see this. This is crazy. And then by the end of it, she's on the edge of her seats with all of us. But she was always like, what do women do? Like, how does that?
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So in the beginning, they really didn't do much, and
What?
we would go see a medic and have to clean our. It was very uncomfortable, and as
I'm
you're
sure.
like, oh my gosh, I'm a mess. And then finally, they started giving us, tampons, which is fine,
Thank
goodness.
and we needed it because in
goodness.
Africa filming my day 2, I didn't realize. I just thought it was really hot and walking through this brush like up to my waist, and then they're like, stop filming, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I walked like 40 feet. And then they looked at the footage, and I was really gross. Sorry, guys. I apologize for
Oh, it's
mentioning
all
this
good.
stuff.
No, it's
I just left a
powerful.
big blood trail on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was so gross, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was so embarrassed. Like, can we please not show that? And they were like, "Yeah." So they started to give us.
Wow.
So.
Yeah,
Free,
that makes sense.
Yeah, pretty disgusting,
free
but
bleeding or
no.
something like that is what I was called.
But it
So
Yeah.
what did we do? Like
Necessary.
I always wonder,
Yeah.
what
Wow.
did women do like not that long ago, like 300-400 years ago? Like what the heck?
nothing. leaves, water, get in the
I guess
water.
so.
And then when you get in the water, it's so dangerous in Africa. There's
yeah.
like hippos out there, crocodiles, and they're like, oh, you can wrestle alligators. I'm like, hold up. Alligators and crocodiles are two different breeds.
Very different.
Crocodiles are incredibly aggressive and they're unpredictable and they can bite their tail.
Yeah.
And you know how if you
shit.
grab their tail, you can control them. They can't bite it. For alligators and caiman, they still
Yep.
struggle.
Yep.
But a crocodile, they
Can
are
get all
so
the way around?
versatile and they can run faster than you on land.
Oh yeah.
You are not fast running away from a crocodile.
No.
And
That
they,
is gnarly.
they're like, oh, you're great. You'll feel confident. And I was like, you want me to get in the water? Are you nuts? And
Yeah,
they're
no.
like, yeah. So you remember the movie The Rock? Right before the guy has to shove the needle in his heart?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
And he goes, you want me to shove this in my heart?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
nuts?
Are you?
So-
I love that
love The
movie
Rock.
so much.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite movies.
We literally all the time
Yeah.
go, da-na-na-na-na-na,
Yeah.
Forget Maui.
na-na-na, forget Maui. And he goes like that, right? You know, well, he's been vaporized, sir.
Yeah. Oh,
Vaporized, Stanley. Remember that?
so good.
So good.
So good. The
When
Rock
he's
is
playing the
amazing.
guitar and he's like, well, gosh, a lot's changed since then. You know?
Yes.
We're pregnant,
No.
Stanley. So
You
great.
guys
Great
seem
movie.
really cool and down to earth. You just never really know people.
I
True,
know.
it's true.
And then it's like you know who their crowd is and who they're with, and it makes you feel better. So.
Well, I have to say, likewise, Andy obviously was very, very well aware of
Yes.
you and said, it's going to be so
what
great.
did you say?
I
said
said
all
this,
good
this has to happen. This
Yeah.
is, this
Yeah.
is
You
badass.
don't understand.
We'd
She's
be
like
so
a legend.
lucky. Yeah.
He literally said, negative for legend.
Yeah.
And I was
I
like,
was
okay.
excited too.
No,
Super
for
stoked.
Yeah, I mean, like
stoked.
literally, like I'm
And-
super
but-
stoked, and you
but
seemed
you
really
don't-
cool.
but you
had a
don't
mutual
know.
friend, so I figured this made a lot of sense.
But
and
you
then
don't-
Yeah, I'm
know.
super happy. I
I
have
know.
something for you.
And
What?
we,
Yeah, I have something
we
for
feel
you.
the same way though. It's been amazing, and you're everything that you would assume you would be, but you never know. You know.
I gotta be honest. Like when I was talking to your producer Tim,
Yeah.
I was like, so what's going on with this? And he kind of gave a little lowdown, and I was like, really, he's so chill. So I did appreciate him,
Yeah.
make me feel comfortable. I've talked to people before and did podcasts where I feel like I'm pulling things out,
Mm.
like to try, and I love talking, and I get excited when I talk about things.
So
and
great.
some people are like, oh, and it's like, oh, okay,
Oh,
I don't
no.
know if I should smile here or what. So.
Oh, I know people
Kind
do
of
get a little
fun.
creepy and awkward.
No, I
yeah.
think that people can totally get creepy sometimes, but the fact that so this is for you. This is a dummy necklace
what?
that so it was a dummy necklace.
No
means,
way.
Yes, but the thing is, I will tell you, it's a little short because I
Okay.
was the smallest one out there.
Of course.
Oh
This
my
is
god,
true.
That is
It's a
so
necklace.
rad.
Yeah,
That is so
yeah. I thought you
rad.
guys would like it.
We're gonna keep this in this. I'm gonna hang this up in here. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
Okay.
For sure. That
Well,
is
and
awesome.
this is my Peru challenge one, and
No
it's a lot
way.
longer, a real one. They
Wow.
had the mic in it, and they took it out. But if you want to see it, but
That's
it's
rad.
I always give them
They
away,
put
and I was
they
like,
put the mics in here.
Uh-huh. so it goes to your satchel bag on the side, your wire, and then we have a
Oh
battery
my god,
pack.
dude,
and
check that out. That is so rad.
yeah, so
Are
I
you sure?
figured.
Thank you so much. This is so.
Well,
cool.
I didn't know, and then I brought you guys stuff from Colorado because if you guys,
So
if
cool.
everybody who comes to visit you gives you a piece of them,
That's so
I got you a little magnet
rad.
for Colorado for you guys.
Oh, this is
And
so
then
sweet.
last thing, this is from my daughter because she's a big fan of you.
Aw.
She's like, he's so hot. I'm like, stop.
Aw.
She's 18. Don't even look at her. No, I'm kidding. That's for you. It's a shot glass.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Well, thank you.
Yes, and I apologize. I didn't know you were gonna be. I didn't
Oh
know it was
my
all three of us
God,
at the
you
same
kidding?
time.
Are
But
you
yeah, I
kidding?
feel like a jerk.
Wow.
But
No way.
Cool.
yes,
Look
but I
at
will
that.
say,
I love this.
yeah,
Look
I
at
just
this here,
thought,
too.
this has been great.
Cool.
And funny story about you. So you're dating somebody right now, right?
Yes.
You're dating Chili.
Yes.
Okay.
I think she actually just.
Is
might
she
have just
okay?
showed
I
up.
gotta
Yeah,
tell you
because-
a really nerdy story though. It was really bad. So in 6th grade, my best friend Sabrina told me, she says, "Hey, we should cut our hair like T-Boz." And I was like,
Oh, yeah,
I
the
had hair
side.
all the way down to my butt. Like I had long, brown, really beautiful dark hair down my butt. She had short blonde hair.
Okay.
And she goes, "Well, why don't you do it first?" And I was like, "Okay." So I
No.
had her dad shave the back of my head, and I
Yeah.
had the T-Boz haircut.
Mhm.
And then my friend Sabrina, she goes, "Oh, I'm not going to do that." And
No.
I was like, "Oh,
What?
So we were
funny.
like a huge fan of TLC, growing up,
cool.
like they were idols. But it was really cool to hear
Yeah.
that. And I was
Yeah.
like, my
Yes.
daughter told me this morning,
Okay.
I'm
All right.
horrible.
There you go.
I don't really look.
That's
people
great.
up.
No, it's
No, I
better.
see,
It's
that's a good
better.
thing.
It's so
Wait,
that's such a good
cool.
thing.
You also told a really funny story about a cat. Can you retell it real quickly for me? Because I just love it.
Okay, so cat
We'll end
story.
with that.
Yes,
we'll end with
we're
the
gonna
cat
end- yes,
story.
end with the
Okay.
cat story.
All right.
All right, so I go to my neighbor's house. I just bought this property. I'm really excited, and I want to meet the neighbor. So I walk over to her house. She's about 60 years old. She invites me in. I'm super excited. I go sit at her table, and she says, "Oh, I want to show you something, like an old picture." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm sitting there. Well, one, I'm highly allergic to cats, so I'm sitting there, and this big gray cat jumps on my lap, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I am so allergic to them. I don't want her to think I'm being rude. If I put the cat down, is it going to scratch me? I'm not sure because it gets worse.
Yeah.
And I know I'm already like struggling my nose. And so the cat's on my neck and I start, oh, you're such a sweet cat. Then it starts purring on my neck. And I'm like, oh my gosh. She walks back in the room and I look at her and I said, you have such a nice cat. And she goes, Amber, that's not my cat. I don't even have a cat. And I was like,
oh my God.
So I'm sweating and I'm like, this is not your cat. And she's like, no, I
Totally
do not
catfished
know
by the cat.
who this cat is. And we live on acres, so we're pretty far off.
That's unbelievable.
And I like slowly set the cat down and it kept following me. And I was like, oh my God.
Well, now you have a cat.
Then I had a
apparently.
rash on my
of course.
hands and my nose and like on my
We've
neck
never
and
had a
rash.
cat.
Good. It
all
reminds
down
me.
my
What's
neck.
that commercial where the lady thinks it's a cat and it's a raccoon that keeps?
Yes,
that's-
'cause she has
I
glasses.
love that. I love that commercial.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, my goodness.
yeah, what a
Amber,
great-
thank you. Yeah.
Great time chatting. Thanks for coming and
Oh my
hanging out
gosh.
with us.
Unbelievable.
It's been an awesome hour.
And good luck with
Yeah,
this next.
we will be watching.
The next
my
journey.
gosh.
One of these days, we gotta get us
And we
out
wanna-
there.
yeah,
we want to go
we
on an
wanna do it.
adventure.
Come out.
We
We'll
want to do
take you on
something
a
fun.
word.
So
You guys are coming on the Celebrity Naked and Afraid. We're
Yes.
gonna
That would
make
be
some
so
magic
rad.
Yes.
happen.
All right.
Well, technically, you don't have to be, if you don't want to do the naked aspect, just surviving 3 days with
Yeah.
me, we will have a blast.
Oh, I'm
that I'm
down.
That I'm definitely down to do.
yeah, and
I
if
would
your
love
one tool is bug spray, that's fine.
Great.
There you
Because
go.
sharing's caring, because we're all gonna want it.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, sharing is caring. I'll share with you guys. Well, you just use it very sparingly, but I'll share with you guys. No, I'll share it.
Yeah, you'll get deep poisoning. You'll put so much on you, you'll poison
feel good,
yourself.
man, but no
Can't
bites.
see. I can't see.
No bites, but I'm a little shaky. I think I got it in my bloodstream. Not good.
He's tapping out day 3.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
Just
well,
from
that
bug spray
that
poisoning.
sounds pretty badass. So,
Yeah.
wow, guys, that's it. That was the quick. Look at that.
Wow,
Wow.
that's a heck of an episode.
It is an episode.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us here on the Brotherly Love Pod.
Yes.
Until next time, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
you'll come back. Please tell more stories after you get back to
definitely.
your
Yeah, you
next
have
great
to.
adventure.
Yeah. The next one, come back.
We
Yeah,
love
I'm
that.
gonna carve your guys' initials in a tree.
Do
I
it.
love it.
Do
I'm
it.
gonna
Do
like
it. Do
walk
it.
by it all slowly.
Dude,
You
that
love
would
it.
be
That would be so amazing.
Please.
But we really will have you on after you're back.
Yeah,
if
anytime.
you want to come
I'm
on.
gonna look a little crackish. I apologize.
Okay,
I usually
okay.
come back like
Really?
108, 110 pounds.
Yeah, I know you lose.
Really?
weight out
I
there.
start out like 134. I try to gain about 8 pounds before filming. It's
Yeah.
hard for me, because I like to work out and be healthy. But
Sure.
I'll eat like a stick of butter. It's so
Yeah.
nice getting some
Wow.
fats on.
Wow. I need to do this. I'll come back shredded.
I know. But you're like, wow, look at this. I'm all ripped up. I know. It's pretty good. It's not
like
bad.
a walking piece of meat.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
I know. He would love it. This guy over here. He'd love it. Look at me, just a walking Andy. Andy's getting shredded right now with Tony. He's getting in the best shape of his life. So
Yeah.
constantly showing
Good.
his abs.
Very
and doing
good.
stuff.
All right, that's enough. Everybody,
Everybody, thank you
we'll
very
see
much.
you next week. Thank you very much.
God bless everybody.
Bye.
Have a great weekend. Hey, what's up, everybody? The
Lawrence
Lawrence
brothers
brothers
are
are here.
here.
Thank you so much for enjoying this week's episode of the Brotherly Love Pod.
And if you want more of this show, check out our premium feed on Supercast.
That's right, where you'll see ad-free episodes, monthly AMAs, behind-the-scene content, and so much more.
That's brotherlylove.supercast.com to join.
Check out our link tree and subscribe on all platforms. We'll see you all
Next week.